Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a success story from a subscriber who's over in India, and this guy has really got his life in the right place. He's 30 years old, young in my opinion, and this guy, he works for a large multinational corporation, makes really good money, he's got money saved up, he's in good health, he's fit, the guy speaks like 5 languages, he's got a lot of options, and he has all this knowledge he's gained by 30 years old. And he's definitely taking his life in the right direction. His purpose is his number one priority. His purpose is not his number one priority ahead of women. And as I go through his story, guys, you're going to see that he was ahead of the game than a lot of guys are in the beginning. But he still obviously made some classic mistakes along the way. But he learns his lesson, and you're going to see where he was putting his girlfriend. He made her his purpose in the beginning, and he wasn't getting anywhere in terms of where he wanted to be in life. But he learned his lesson. His eyes were opened up, so to speak, to a whole bunch of things that I talk about in this channel and other guys like me talk about in their channels. And now his life is going great. So I'm going to share his story, and I'll go to show you guys that he's in a place where I want you guys to get to be. Whether you're 20 years old, 30 years old like him, 40, 50, 60, I don't care, 70 or 80, whatever. You can always, it's never too late, and get your life to where you want it to be. And once you get to that point, you're the master of your own destiny. You call the shots, and it's great. So I'm going to start off here saying, starts off, hello SSM, I'm from India and one of the ardent followers of your channel. I want to share my story with you, which you might find interesting since it contradicts the mainstream narratives that all single men are incels and anyone who goes MGTOW is burned by women. To begin with, I come from a traditional home with a strong father in a country which has a huge simp problem. I'm not athletic since I'm more interested in reading, drawing, and other indoor activities, but I'm good looking, I eat healthy, and exercise enough to keep me fit and in shape. I'm a computer engineer, which would explain why I don't have a lot of time for outdoor stuff. That's great, man. You know, guys, as I said before, you don't need to go to the gym 6 days a week for 2 hours at a time and pretty much eat nothing but chicken and salads your whole life. That's crazy. Okay, you don't have to do that. But I do suggest that you definitely, a few days a week, 2 to 3 days a week, exercise in some way so you can be fit. Okay, you don't need to go around looking like professional bodybuilders, but just exercise. Do a little weightlifting. If you don't do weights, do body weight exercises like squats with your own body weight or push-ups or something, crunches, sit-ups, whatever. And eat healthy most of the time, about 80-85% of the time, and you're good to go. But if you do enjoy being in the gym multiple days a week and eating psychotically healthy, okay, that's fine. You're going to be better for it, but you just need to be militant. So this guy, he's doing good, you know. Like you say, he's not a big outdoor type of guy because he's more into reading and stuff, but he still does some things, and that's good. Just want to make that clear. He says, now to the story. The year was 2016, and I was enrolled in a French course since 2013, where the girls outnumbered the guys in the ratio of 26 to 1. Now I'm wondering if that was a typo and he meant to say 2 to 1. I'll email him and ask him, but nevertheless, the women outnumbered the guys. At the time, I was unaware about female nature, but I was quite into PUA stuff. And he says in parentheses, to my embarrassment today. Nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, he was young and obviously wanted to pick up and hook up, so don't worry about that. Even though I was not red pill at the time, I was quite apprehensive about marriage, and I didn't think it was the right thing for me. I'm a slick talker, and at one point I was hooking up with multiple girls in my class. At one point in 2015, I decided to stop and commit to one girl. She was cute and sweet, definitely not the best looking in the class, but very kind and with the best attitude among the bunch, since many of the hotties were huge bitches and a giant pain in general. Yeah, that kind of comes hand in hand. I let my girl know about my reservations on the topic of marriage, and I may never marry since I was young and still confused about the whole thing. That disappointed her a little, as she very much wanted to get hitched, but she continued dating me, and in her mind, she was determined to sway my decision in her favor. Of course she was. That's how it works, you know, and I want to point something out. The fact that he told her early on that he wasn't interested in marriage, you know, that's generally a good thing to do, and that way it doesn't lead to any confusion. Now, I'm not trying to be on the moral high ground here. If you guys want to hook up and get laid and basically kind of just, you know, bend the truth in that department if a girl asks you because you want to hook up, Be my guess, but that could come back to bite you in the ass. But generally speaking, he let her know. And I want to point something out here. You didn't notice that she didn't go running for the hills here. She still stayed dating him and all that. Because guess what? This guy showed that he's a challenge. Okay, women love challenges, guys. I've said this before. For those of you guys that date and pick up and want to do relationships, this is why you never give in too easy. Most guys, to a girl they like, would just immediately just give in to whatever they wanted, and the girls are bored because there's no challenge. So by him not just, by saying flat like, hey, I'm not interested in marriage. Ooh, in her eyes, that's a challenge. Now she gets to change his mind. And not to mention the fact that that's just what they do anyway. Goes on. Time passed, and we were having a great relationship when in 2016, I stumbled upon MGTOW, while debating against feminism with a male friend of mine who calls himself a feminist. Oh, God. It's one thing if it's another woman that, labels herself as that, but if it's a guy, good Lord, you're not going to change his mind. You're only going to just drive yourself crazy trying to change guys' minds like that. And you're going to see in his story here what he goes through when he tries to, he sees things as they are and tries to point these things out to other people that don't see him that way, and it doesn't go over very well. And this guy definitely, he exhausts himself in the process, which you're going to see. As I researched more and more, my eyes opened. I became increasingly red-pilled and angry. I began to see the little manipulation tactics my girlfriend was pulling on me to slowly and subtly, but surely, trying to change my mind about marriage. I could now see her really behind her mask of being extra affectionate, too caring, and try to get with my family. I also realized that even though our time together so far have been great, but I haven't progressed at all in my professional life, and I'm stuck in a lousy job that doesn't pay well. I realize I will never be able to break up out of my comfort zone that I've allowed myself to slip into if I kept wasting my time hanging out with her or thinking about her or doing stuff with her on weekends or festivals or vacations. In other words, this guy was putting her ahead of his purpose. He was stuck where he was. He didn't like that because he was spending all his free time either with her, thinking about her, planning trips and vacations and festivals and doing all these things. You see what I'm talking about, guys? This is why you guys need to put your purpose first above everything else. Especially always, this is for everybody no matter what, but especially when you're young. This is why I tell you guys, if you have it set on getting married one day, even though I tell you not to do it, even if you still want to do it, this is why I tell you, wait to do it until you're 30 years old. Spend your teens and your 20s on your purpose, okay? That way then you can get the education you need to get, you can get the life experience you want to get, you can put away the money you want to put away and start to let it grow at an early age with compound interest over the decades. You're going to have a lot at the end. So you want to work on your purpose. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck like this guy, okay? I'm not always talking about you guys going after your goals and ambitions and purpose just to talk. I'm saying there's a reason for this. This shows exactly his story. He was spending all his time with his lady, and he wasn't getting anywhere because when women want you, when they like you, when they're after you, and you're in a relationship with them, they want you to be with them all the time, as right here in this story. So, and if a guy gets totally head over heels for her, it's hard for him to back away from that, or he's in a fearful state that he's going to lose her if he doesn't do what she wants. Purpose first, gentlemen, always. He says here, continues, after much thinking, I ended my relationship with her in the same year, 2016. That didn't go well with her, as I had to deal with major waterworks from her and a promise that I never get married, and she will never get married either. Well, I don't know what that's all about her, but once he's done with her, that's not his problem. But I want to say something here just to be fair. He was talking about how she was doing all these things like being really affectionate and sweet and getting close to the family and all that. You got to understand, guys, is that, yes, when women want a guy to settle down and get married with him and all that, they're definitely going to move things along in that direction as best they can through being outright or manipulative. But one thing needs to be said. It's not like they're all sitting there and going, I'm going to get this guy, and all that, and all the affection and time spent with him is all about that. You also can have women that are going to generally like you Understand this. And if you're a guy that she sees as a prize that she really likes and is attracted to, and if you're a challenge, which this guy obviously is a challenge because he made it clear, I'm not interested in marriage, so now she has a little challenge to try to change his mind. Believe me, a lot of that isn't going to be like just because she's trying to get the guy to marry her and ha ha ha, now I got him and his money. No. I mean, that can be part of it, but also the fact that she just really likes the dude. Okay, so understand that if you're dating guys or in relationships and she's treating you great and all that, it's not all to get you then down the aisle and then she's got you. In that time, in that moment, I'm going to emphasize the moment, she can be really into you and really attracted to you. So you can enjoy that for what it's worth, again, for those of you guys that do dating and relationships and all that. Okay, it's not all evil plot. Let me just make that clear here. You can have women that really like you and enjoy your company and hooking up with you and all that and having fun. Just make that clear. Because I have plenty of guys that follow me that do date, do relationships and all that, so I want to help everybody out here. I also got plenty of guys that will have nothing to do with women, okay? But understand it isn't all about the plot to get the guy down the aisle. So he continues on. My research into MGTOW intensified, and I was researching everything under the sun like divorce laws, government control, and the sad reality of the world today. Very good. Always educate yourself, guys. That's how you can have a much better life. Don't put your head in a hole and just ignore everything. This made me really bitter and angry, and I stopped exercising and not eating well, and I gained a lot of weight and was generally unhealthy. I made a lot of friends on the MGTOW groups and trolled and debated unsuccessfully with feminists. See what he said there? He was trying to debate people from that group, and what happened? Didn't get anywhere. Don't waste your breath. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to make yourself crazy. And by the way, he talked about how he was bitter and angry. Guys, you don't want to go down that route, okay? You want to educate yourselves, but don't go walking around with a storm cloud above you being mad all the time and bitter and angry. If you do that, guess who you sound like, right? What members of that group are like that? What members have that stereotype? So don't be like them, okay? You can obviously have a great realization about how things really are, but don't go around being pissed off all the time, and don't neglect exercise and screw yourself up. This guy let himself go because he's walking around angry all the time. It's the wrong move. But he was young, and obviously he got past that shit. But just save yourself some trouble, guys. Don't let yourself go. Don't walk around angry and pissed off all the time. It is what it is, and don't certainly give up on the exercise and all that. And don't go around trying to debate and troll and fight with people all the time. You'll make yourself crazy. He says, this went on for 2 more years. Slowly my anger started to subside and a general feeling of acceptance washed over me. The life stories of other men who are dealing with a lot of issues today gave me a lot of perspective and a sense of appreciation towards my own situation. I stopped taking life for granted and started eating healthy again and exercising again. I was already working hard in my career since breaking up with my ex, but now that I was angry less and less, I was able to focus more and more. That led me to switching multiple jobs, and now I'm working for a large multinational company earning good money. Awesome. Girlfriend's toast. He focuses on his purpose, and look what's going on here. Now he's working for a large company and making good money. See what I'm talking about, guys? Purpose first, ahead of everything. I have a good amount of money saved up in the bank, and since I'm quite frugal with money, I was able to travel internationally twice last year. In 2019, I speak 5 languages now with varying degrees of fluency, and I have no intention of stopping since I think this is just the beginning. Awesome. I'm 30 years old now, and like many people in the manosphere, including you, say that the best time in men's life is the 30s. Ding, ding, ding. Before I forget, I have lost all but 4 pounds of extra weight, and I'm back to looking good once more. This is awesome, bro. Excellent. This is where you should be. Good for you. Great job, making great money in the bank, traveling around. He's still improving himself. He's back to exercising, eating healthy. This should be all you guys. It's not that hard to do, seriously. And he let go of all that anger and bitterness, because what good did that do? Nothing. Okay, sure it was a shock in the beginning, but for 2 years he's walking around with a storm cloud above his head. I mean, I'm not trying to give the guy the hard time, but that was 2 years he could have been working on his purpose and being more healthy. But hey, you know what? He came to it in his own time, and now he's 30 and doing great. Awesome. He finishes up saying, So this is a story of a regular guy who had never been burned by women, who is MGTOW by choice. The female company sure is delightful in the short run, but there is so much more in life to offer. Men just need to resist temptations of female approval and work on themselves, and they will find their world is their playground. If my past experience can help even one man see the truth, that's a win in my book. Keep up the good work, man, and spread the word around. Well, thank you to this guy for sending this over. This is great to hear. And like I said, guys, purpose first above everything else. And see how great his life is? You see how happy he sounds here? That's awesome. And it's not that hard to do, guys. Seriously. But so many guys early on think that they got to make women their purpose. No, no, no. They're at the bottom of the list. And the interesting thing is, notice that guys that put their purpose first and their health first and their bodies first, and then after that, like their friends and their family and women are last, notice those guys, they're the top percent guys. They're the ones that make all the money, those that look really good, had the cool cars, dress slick, all that. And guess what? Guess who's chasing after them? The women, right? But notice the guys that don't have all those things, they're chasing after the women. So be the guy. Again, I want you to do all this for yourself, guys, to have a happy life. But if attracting women and having a lot of fun with them is a goal of yours, something you enjoy, focus on your purpose and they'll chase after you. That's how it works. But a few things here I wanted to point out again, guys, is number one, you find out this information, don't go around being bitter and angry about it. I know it's tempting. I know it's hard not to sometimes, but don't go around with a storm cloud around your head. It does nothing. Don't try to debate and argue with people that don't see things your way. You're wasting your breath. You're going to lose your mind, especially the male feminist types. Good luck, okay? If you want to share some of this information with your buddies, one time, and some of them are receptive to this, then you can talk about it more. But if they don't want to hear it and it's a bunch of drama, just forget it. And another thing is, like I said, guys, this guy put his purpose first, okay? He was with the girlfriend, and he was spending all his free time with her. They were going out and doing stuff. When he wasn't with her, he was thinking about her or planning trips with her and all that. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that when you're at the point where you want to be. If you do relationships and you already achieved your goals and you're in a great place financially with your goals and money and your job or your business and health and all that, and you do have a girlfriend, don't live with her, don't marry her. It's okay to have room for that in your schedule, but you don't make it your purpose, okay? But when you're still young and you're trying to get where you want to be, she's at the back of the list. And does that mean you may lose her or you may lose women when you put them last? Yes, it's going to happen sometimes, guys. I'm telling you that right now. But there's going to be plenty of opportunities later on down the road. Focus on your goals. Focus on making the best version of yourself. And again, guys, this guy's 30. He was obviously doing this in his 20s. But if you guys right now are older, you're in your 40s or 50s, it's not too late. You can still do things to improve yourself across the board. And you'll be so much more happy. And the more happy you are and more peaceful you are, the more resourceful you're going to be and find even better ways to make your life better. Life is short, guys, so you can make things what you want to be. And are there going to be roadblocks along the way? Yes. Are there going to be some setbacks and hardships? Yes. Are there going to be people who are going to try to derail your success because they're jealous? Yes. But these are all the hurdles to success, having the life you want. So make it what you want to be. This guy's doing great. I'm really proud of him, and I'm glad he sent this email here. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. It's a good story for Monday to motivate you to go for your goals and make things the way you want to be. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.